92, 86, 88, and coached in 2014 and 18. Quick facts about Team Japan. Japan finished 6th in 2018. This is their 8th world appearance. Their best finish was in 5th place in 2002, and their first appearance was in 1994. Wales finished 14 in 2018, the first in the European League qualifier, the ELF qualifier, I should say. This is their 7th world appearance. Their best finish was 11th in both 1998 and 2010, and their first world appearance was back in 1998. To announce the rosters for today's games. For the roster of Team Dai Soto. Head coach for Team Japan is Naofumi Suzuki, with assistant coaches Jen Hasegawa, Shinsuke Hattori, Shun Sato. The roster today for Wales' team is number 1, James Richardson. Number 3, Thomas Porter. Number 4, Paul Chapman. Number 5, James Tilley. Number 6, Dylan Braddock. 7, Jamie Chambers. Number 8, Daniel Thomas. Number 9, Tom Pereira. Number 10, John Mills. Number 11, Christopher Bishop. Number 12, Andrew Hopkins. Number 13, Ben Stringer. Number 15, David Howie. 16, Casey Hughes. Number 17, Thomas Rosser. Number 18, Chris Turner. Number 19, Owen Edwards. Number 21, Alex Williams. Number 22, Robert Hopkins. Number 23, Joe Harris. 24, Aaron Eastwood. 26, Danny Chambers. And number 27, Andrew Gresham. Wales' team is led by head coach Nick Hewitt, with assistant coaches James Perrin, Rick Summers, and Chris Summers. We welcome you all to the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship. You are watching the Spirit Game, the Medicine Game, the Creators Game here in San Diego, California on Kumeyaay territory.
Welcome to the Sports Deck on the campus of San Diego State University for today's de facto Pool B Championship game. It's the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital. Today it's Team Japan at 2-0 against Team Wales at 1-0. I'm AJ Cannell, really thrilled for this matchup, which should decide the winner of Pool B. Japan, the big favorite heading in, the top-ranked team outside of Pool A, looking to close in on victory in Pool B. Opening face-off coming up next.
Sunday, June 25th versus Uganda at 10 a.m. And again on Monday, June 26th versus France at 10 a.m. After today's game, Team Japan plays Denmark on Sunday, June 25th at 4 p.m.
Welcome back to the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship, presented by Rady Children's Hospital. It's 2-0 Japan taking on 1-0 Wales. Taking a look at Shinya Tateshi right there, the leading scorer so far for Japan. 10 goals, 5 assists, 15 points through the first two Japanese wins and their first two games in the tournament. Victories over France and Uganda. For Wales, the thought right now might reside where they're missing some players. It's Alex Williams, their top performer in the qualifiers, leading scorer, is out with a broken hand suffered in their first game in the tournament, which was a victory over Denmark in overtime on Thursday. And then also James Tiley suffering a concussion in that game. So we'll see what Wales can do to fill in those gaps. You bring 23 players to the tournament, so there is the opportunity for other guys to step up.
Won by Japan.
Big collision on the opening face-off.
Hold on Japan, going towards Wales. The ball is top left, the outside of the goal.
Possession goes to Wales. Very similar color scheme for these two sides, so it's certainly worth noting that Wales is in white, Japan is in red on defense. Face-offs have been nearly a given so far in the tournament for Japan through two games. So a surprise to see them cede possession. They figure this is their biggest chance, their biggest challenge in pool play, looking forward to the challenge against Wales, and of course Wales feeling exactly the same way. Robert Hopkins led the team with 3 goals in that overtime win. Number 22 still carries. in some trouble, a little bit stuck right now against Taiga Hirotsu, and gets it back outside. Hopkins to Stringer. This is Braddock. Forced to reset. And now queued up with Joe Harris. Joe Harris back to Dylan Braddock. Gets a little bit of a rub, gets a shot off, and Braddock's shot is saved down low by the starting goaltender, Soya Tokumasu, out of Kansai Gakuin University. He hails from Hyogo. In a tournament filled with a mixture of players with American citizenship that also have heritage from other countries, and then some native-born players. Japan is 100% Japanese-born players. For Wales, a lot of players who hail from England and have Welsh heritage, and a few Americans on the Wales side. Kanaya has also been a top performer along with Tateishi for Japan as the Japanese get their first possession. Umehara, the nice pass in close. Kanaya is saved. Casey Hughes, number 16 from Penarth, Wales. Made his international debut in the 2010 World Championships in Manchester, England. He did not play in 2014. This is his first World Championship appearance since. International rules, no shot clock, no clearing timer. Just got to make sure you're on side, which in that case, Daniel Thomas was able to do, and Wales clears successfully. Japan had a total stranglehold on its first two games. A combined 22-1 performance in the first halves of their wins over Uganda and France. Already a different looking complexion to this first half. Hopkins and Stringer playing a two-man game at the moment. Now it's Joe Harris, and freshly into the game, David Howie, four-time participant in the World Championships out of London. Andrew Gresham, who played collegiately at Manhattan in the United States. Errant pass there. Any turnover is crucial in a game with no possession timer, especially unforced errors, the toughest thing to stomach. Good pressure from Wales on the ride. Wales led by Nick Hewitt, his first World Championship as head coach. He was the defensive coach for 2 years before being promoted to head coach. With a little bit of trouble, Japan takes it across half field. Japan led by now Fumi Suzuki, who is known as Coach Udo. He was also the head coach on the U21s, and several of his players on this team were actually assistant coaches for other players that are now on this team. So a connection from a coaching perspective and playing perspective at the U21 championships on the Japan side. Japan strikes first. Obana from Tateishi.
Kazuki Obana.
Tateishi has been the initiator for Japan in 2023, and he sets up Obana.
Kazuki Obana, representing the University of Waseda University.
See, Tateishi gets free a little bit, gets a better matchup, and some confusion drawn with some help by Morimatsu. It's those little details of the game that both of these sides take so much pride in. But Japan has vastly improved in. Just the fine details of the movements offensively to shake Tateishi free. Yuya Okumura. We'll wait for Japan's full offensive complement to get out there. One more substitution here. Kanaya to Goto. Koki Goto tries to get topside. Umehara looping it way up, and it's stung by Kanaya.
A goal by number 11, Hiroki Kanaya, assisted by number 7, Tomoki Umehara.
The assists have been as beautiful as the goals so far, but Kanaya absolutely ripping one. Tomoki Umehara, beautiful assist, and Kanaya paying it off. He's been Japan's top goal scorer. That's his 12th of the tournament in 2 games and change. See the clock running, it's running time until the final 30 seconds of each of the first 3 quarters and the final 2 minutes of the 4th.
Japan went early in the faceoff.
Japan goes early, so it's back to Wales. Wales finished in 14th place in 2018 in the World Championship in Netanya, Israel. Went 6-2. 1-0 so far in 2023, delayed by a year due to COVID. I think I heard holding the stick down there is the call off the loose ball, and what becomes a turnover. And with that whistle, we'll take a timeout. Japan off to another speedy start. 2-0 against Wales.
And it goes by fast. At Rady Children's, we're growing up too. Always looking for answers and new and better ways to care for your kids.
That's true.
Researching, innovating, breaking ground. As they soar to new heights,
Ignition.
We're ready for takeoff too.
Liftoff.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
Experience real in a whole new way. From the all-new Rescue Junior, where learning about saving animals is fun, to the icy mission of the all-new Arctic Rescue, the longest and fastest straddle coaster on the West Coast, and spectacular new shows, concerts, parades, and fireworks. All in a world you need to rediscover. Get tickets as low as $64.99 during our 4th of July sale. SeaWorld San Diego. Real amazing.
Call the players out here to get back to
Taking a look now at how Japan has gotten off to a great start against Wales. Shinya Tateshi setting up Kazuki Obana on the doorstep. And then Kanaya with a snipe the second time around. But they've given credit to Tateshi on both of those assists. Thought I saw it as Umehara on the second one, but for now we'll respect what the stats say. And Tateshi with both of the assists so far for Japan. Well, timing rules besides the running clock are familiar for 15-minute quarters. But the games go quicker because it's running time. Very few stoppages besides maybe for an injury or something of that nature, besides the final 30 seconds of the first 3 quarters and the last 2 minutes of the game. Again, Wales, the biggest thing is they come in as a tested team. They performed well, went 5-0 in the European qualifiers, but two of their best players, and particularly goal scorers, and Alex Williams and James Tiley, went down with injury in game one, and Japan has scored 3 quickly in the first. Toru Morimatsu adds one to the pile.
Toru Morimatsu representing Tokyo.
Great passing on the first 2 Japan goals. This time, Morimatsu just doing it himself.
The score is now 3-0. Japan leading over Wales. 30 left in the first period.
Well, because this Japanese team is so young, I was talking with their assistant coach, one of their assistant coaches, their defensive coordinator, about just their team in general, how this experience has been for them in 2023 in San Diego, and in particular as well, that win over Uganda and the bonding they were able to experience after the game. A beautiful photo taken with the alternating Japanese and Ugandan players all chanting cheers for each other's nations, and the coaching staff for Japan making the point that this international experience is still fairly new for a lot of these Japanese players, and in particular some of them coming from, you know, European championships or European sixes, or excuse me, you know, Asian championships I should say, that they haven't had a lot of experience against developing nations in lacrosse, and so they really learned a lot from the Ugandan players and just how much lacrosse as a sport means to some of those developing countries.
Shot goes wide.
Tateshi whistles one wide. And despite the fast start for Japan, this is still more of a test than they saw in the first couple of games. It really wasn't even a contest. They hoarded possession the whole way against France and Uganda. Excellent cut on the doorstep. A big commotion and save made. Flag down. Player in the crease. A lot going on there to sort out. Flag came in from the official behind the play, and it looks like there was something against Wales. Maybe that shove that sent the player into the crease. Now the officials today: Michael Drake from Canada, Wong Ki Park from Korea, Jamie Chan out of Hong Kong, and at the scorers table, Darren Cassidy, also Canadian. Took a second to litigate that one.
The penalty is on Wales, number 8, Daniel Thomas.
And there's a call against Daniel Thomas. 30-second push.
The ball will reset at side right relative to the goal.
It looks like it's actually on number 7. Jamie Chambers. First man up opportunity for either team. Goto to Umehara. Skip it across. Save on the doorstep by Hughes. Got down there against Obana.
Japan maintains possession after the shot and chase.
Tateshi making a bid for his 3rd assist. Instead he shoots, and that was close. Apparently hit the pipe on the right side. Saw the net ripple as well. One of the Japanese players was calling it might have gone in, but it stays out. And a near goal from Tateshi.
Successful clear by Wales.
Let's see what Wales can get going without 2 of their top scoring players. They like their depth though and feel as though they'll have the opportunity to have other guys step up. Jamie Chambers, who just served the penalty, one of the key lefties who will have to fill in without Alex Williams. Three-time World Championship participant who went down with a broken hand in Game 1. Win in overtime against Denmark. Got the day off yesterday for Wales. Each team gets 1 day off in pool play. David Howie restarts, gets a pick. 2 players fall, 1 per side. Howie looking to capitalize, cannot, and moves it back out. Dylan Braddock out of SUNY Binghamton tries to wrap it around. Feeds it back to Howie. Howie's got a good matchup here against a short stick, but it was defended well and thrown away. The goal for Wales is to make the opponent uncomfortable and make every loose ball difficult. But Japan gets the whistle and the ground ball. Uganda versus France, the other game in Pool B going on right now. We'll keep you updated on that score. But under 40 seconds in the opening quarter at SDSU Sports Deck.
30 seconds remaining.
Umehara, Shinya Tateshi, Morimatsu, Suzuki. Swung around to Tateshi. The shot actually taken there by Morimatsu, and one last chance for Wales with 10 seconds to go in the first. Flung up the field by Hughes. Not a bad risk to take there in that situation. But it is stop time in the final 30 seconds of the quarter. So now Japan will do the exact same thing, and the clock will stop and let it run to 0. No, not bad for Wales. Japan has just demolished its opponents so far in pool play. Some uncertainty about whether play actually concluded there at the end of the quarter, but the clock reads 0. The officials will call it. And now the officials will change their minds and send everyone back out to play 1 meaningless second. But that's okay. We'll wait.
Correction, there is 1 second remaining.
This will be Casey Hughes who will huck it again. And that took 1 second. And so that is it.
The end of the first quarter.
As I was saying, let's take it a break. It was a strong first quarter for both sides because you look at it, Japan, another fast start, but Wales did a lot better, quite frankly, than the last 2 teams that were playing Japan in the first quarter of play.
ping, designed to ping when the ball strikes the net. Rock the goal and make it ping. Gilman Gear is a proud sponsor of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship in San Diego on Kumeyaay territory. Ogio, a leader in innovation of world-class travel gear, is a proud partner of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship in San Diego on Kumeyaay territory. Elevate your game with cutting-edge design, superior quality, and unmatched performance.
The 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship is sponsored by Rady Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the 10 best children's hospitals in the nation. Well, the children are enjoying the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship. Got a chance to catch up with a couple of families on my walk over here. There's a family that happened to be here for a soccer tournament that has Scottish ancestry, and the young son, who's a big lacrosse fan, as it already stood, got to take photos at the hotel with a bunch of players from Team Scotland, and it was a really cool opportunity for him, and there have been a lot of stories like that throughout the week for a lot of families and people. A battle for the clamp here to start the second quarter. Wales is in white. A little bit of a hurdle job right there from one of the Wales players, Owen Edwards. And that was a highly competitive face-off win for Team Wales, and Thomas Rosser, who's one of the best weapons on their team. He played in the sixes for Team Great Britain, because sixes is going to be the Olympic sport, the Olympic version of lacrosse, they hope, in 2028 if it gains entry into the Olympics. That goes as Team Great Britain instead of being divvied out into Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England, etc. There are two players on this Wales roster who appeared in the sixes European Championships for Great Britain. They're Fogo, Rosser, and their goalie, Casey Hughes. But the Welsh have got it to start the second quarter. Aaron Eastwood, 1-on-2. Didn't get a great shot off, but looked like he may have drawn a penalty. Wales will substitute its man-up unit, and a Japanese player will take a seat.
On number 20 for Team Japan.
That's a slash on Don Kanayama, who's one of just 3 returning players on this overhauled roster from the 2018 World Championship. He is one of the leaders of their defense. He now takes a seat for this penalty. 30 seconds interference is the call on Kanayama. First man up for Team Wales. Getting everyone a touch. Gresham. Goal line finds a cutter, and Chambers' shot was stopped. Perhaps the best goal-scoring opportunity for Wales, Jamie Chambers, who's really stepping into a much more important role with the injury to Alex Williams. But no match for Toku Masu there. One thing Japan has done really well through the first 2 games against overmatched France and Uganda was the ride game and the possession game. Face-offs, ground balls, and preventing easy clears. And one thing Wales has done, despite the 3-0 score, to make this more competitive so far against Japan has been exactly those things. They've been more competitive on face-offs. They've been able to clear relatively easily, and they've made ground balls more challenging. The one thing that Japan's been able to do is set up some great offensive plays and score on Wales. And their defense has been great as well. Kanaya will leave it off for Gota. Ukumura. Back around it goes, Umehara. Koki Goto. Tateshi. Goto has got it.
And scored by Japan.
That's Koki Goto's first goal of the tournament.
Goto.
Out of Tokyo and Waseda U.
Representing Waseda University. And there is a timeout on the field.
Get the save there on one end from Tokumasu. And then Japan pays it off. Great look again by Tateshi. He has been dazzling throughout the first 3 games. He has assists on 3 of the 4 Japan goals today and seems to have the biggest impact on the game even when he's not scoring. Tateshi now with 18 points through the first 2 games and a quarter and a half of game 3 for Japan in pool play. Right now we're in a Japan timeout, despite the Japanese being on a 4-goal run to begin play. Taking a look there at Team Japan in their reds today. Through the first 2 games, like I said, it was more about the ride and it was about the face-offs and just stifling the opposition that way, but something that Japan has been thinking about as a measuring stick. They feel like their set offense and set defense are nearly on par now with the very best teams in the world, US, Canada, Haudenosaunee. And it was about, for them at least, from their perspective, trying to iron out some of the other details, ground balls, face-offs, and the things I've been talking about. But today, Wales has been more of a challenge in those areas, kind of the special team situations. And Japan has shown how good they are, set offense and set defense. Exhibiting different strengths compared to the first 2 wins. Well, there's the face-offs coming back into play. It's Ishii straight off the draw, potentially generating something. Still unsettled here. Long pole shot coming in from Hiratsuka. Backed up by Japan. Hiratsuka does have a point. He got an assist against Uganda. Now the O players come out for Japan.
Minutes remain in the second period.
This is Junichi Suzuki. Now Shinya Tateshi. Thought he saw something with Obana, but turns it over.
Wales ball.
A rare mistake from Shinya Tateshi. Now, as great as this has been so far for Japan, you still feel like there's an opportunity for Wales to apply some actual game pressure on Japan for the first time in the tournament. Wales just hasn't found a way to generate enough chances. Cleared well once again, though. Thomas Porter doing the honors and makes the connection further up the field with Robert Hopkins so they can sub their players on. Coming off the dramatic overtime win, I guess what overtime win wouldn't be dramatic, against Denmark on Thursday. This is the de facto championship game in Pool B. Japan, the massive favorite coming into the pool, but Wales has the best chance against them. Tough angle jump shot there. And now a loose ball after the shot by Eastwood. Now Japan's still been pretty good on those ground ball situations, though. Face-offs have been more challenging. The clear, like I said, has been pretty good for Wales, but Japan winning possession off those ground balls. This is Tateshi again, stopped point blank by Casey Hughes. After a great move previously also by Okumura. A flag had flown though, which freezes play. At tail end of the Okumura move, and Tateshi saved during the delayed penalty situation. This is a 1-minute slash. It'll be served by Andrew Hopkins, their captain on defense. One of 3 captains along with David Howie at midfield and Alex Williams at attack, who of course we've mentioned several times is out with a broken hand. That's off the iron for Japan.
Japan maintains possession on the chase, and we are now at a media timeout.
Yuya Okumura with the shot. And that will take us to a break in the midst of a 1-minute man up. It's been more methodical so far, but it's been a lot of Team Japan, just like the first couple of days in Pool B play.
Children's Hospital San Diego on Kumia territory is the largest children's hospital on the West Coast and consistently ranked among the very best pediatric healthcare systems in the United States. Rady's Children's is proud to be the presenting partner for this year's men's championship of the medicine game, the spirit game, the creators game. Fuel the growth, enrich the experience, field the best national teams. USA Lacrosse is proud to serve as a host nation of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady's Children's Hospital. Find out more about what we do and why we do it at usalacrosse.com. Download the official event app for daily schedules, scores, stats, and more. Download the Superfan Loyalty app from the Android or Apple Store and search for 2023 World Lacrosse. You are watching the medicine game, the spirit game, the creators game, as Japan leads 4-0 over Wales here with 7:30 remaining in the second period.
Picturesque afternoon once again in San Diego as the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital continues. Wales continues to serve a 1-minute slashing penalty, so it's Japan on the man up. Obana lost that one upstairs. Kanaya skip pass to Umehara. Kanaya thought about it, deflected pass. It's scooped by Okumura. Back to 6-on-6 here. Wales recovers back into the picture with Braddock subbing on. Big sidewinder is in. Koki Goto.
Koki Goto, assisted by number 7, Tomoki Umehara. 625.
Umehara with the assist, and Goto's had a couple of impressive goals back-to-back.
Men's Championship in San Diego on Kumia territory.
Came into today, had not scored a goal yet through the first 2 games, but the Japanese coaches have insisted that there are many scoring options on this team besides just Shinya Tateshi and Hiroki Kanaya. We saw a lot of points out of those two, a combined 29 points out of those two through the first 2 games. And now as this has gone along, Ishii is starting to make his mark, winning face-offs for Japan. Face-offs now 6-2. And they've taken the last couple.
Shot goes wide, and Japan will maintain possession on the chase.
Japan keeps the ball after a defensive player sent that shot wide. That was Dai Sato on the shot. It's feeling like Japan has pressed close on the elevator door against Wales. You know, it was open for a while. They've really clamped down, controlled more possession, had these defenders for Wales sliding. Good deflection though caused there. Ground ball scooped up by the goalie, Casey Hughes, and they'll start the clear. Up ahead to Braddock. Braddock is tracked down from behind by Morimatsu, but still manages to clear, and not a bad time for Wales to use a timeout and try and get something going on offense. Well, Wales governing body, the Welsh Lacrosse Association, men's senior national team debuted 1995. So they've been in this for a while, finished in third place that year in the first ever European Championship, which was held in Prague. They're known as the Dragons.
You are watching the medicine game.
And they have a lot of players who have been together for a long time and carry a lot of pride within this group. That includes the coaching staff as well. Nick Hewitt, his son is an assistant on the staff. His daughter is the physio for the team. We're listed as a team osteopath. And about 8 years, the last couple of World Championship cycles, the majority of these players have been together. 15 of the 23 on the roster have played in a previous World Championship. You compare that to just 3 on the much younger Japan side.
The ball will reset top right relative to the goal. Wales has possession.
This was the best team during Europe's qualifying process. But a couple of key players are out and injured, and they're facing the best team not in Pool A. In Team Japan, the number 6 ranked team in the world. Flag flies after Joe Harris had some assistant refereeing that he felt needed to be done. Now Harris takes it, 1-on-2, and another flag comes in late. Well, Kota Yanai knows he's the guilty party for Japan. We'll see what else if there's a second penalty, because one flag came in, it felt like well after the delayed penalty was in effect.
For Japan, Yuta Kato. The second penalty is on number 98, Dai Soto. It will be 6-on-4 as Wales.
So it's 6-on-4. Dai Sato goes out as well. Let's take a look at what Wales can do. Key opportunity. But already back to, okay, so it's just the penalties stack on each other, 1.5 minutes to be served. So it's one man up right now.
Correction, it is 6-on-5. It's one penalty that's stacked on top of one another.
But still, 90 seconds of man up time for Wales.
Correction, it's a 1 minute and 30-second penalty on number 8, Kota Yanai.
Hopkins to Chambers. High pass, in trouble. David Howie scoops it and tries to brush it over to a teammate. It's still loose. Wales has the numbers advantage, but now did somebody commit a violation? It was on Japan holding the stick.
On Japan, it is Wales' ball as a reset side left relative to the goal.
So the man-up possession continues. Joe Harris flips it to Chambers. A lot of cycling right now from Wales. And then Hopkins throws it away.
Japan ball.
Nothing doing even with the extended, stacked man-up penalties. One on top of each other, the two penalties. Looks like Japan, though, should salt the rest of this penalty time away. Kanaya on the clearing effort. 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. All Japan in the first half. Somehow that was grabbed by Kanaya, got a valid shot off, but it was backed up by Wales. Back to even strength Lacrosse. And thrown away.
Out of bounds on Wales.
Japan coaching staff said even with the tougher challenge in Wales, they're still focused on themselves. They feel good about the scouting report coming into this one. They were locked in, and the goal for Team Japan during this pool play is always get it to 12-0. 12-0 is the optimal score. 12 is the maximum goal differential you can achieve, and the next tiebreaker after that is goals allowed. So Japan is aiming for 12-0, and you know what? They still have a chance. Timeout, Team Japan with 1:22 left in the first half. Something that not a lot of people might know about Japan is that they were influenced early on in their existence with a partnership with a team in Baltimore, Maryland, Johns Hopkins, of course, one of the famous lacrosse programs in NCAA Division I. And the partnership with Johns Hopkins began a long time ago, 1987. Then JHU head coach Don Zimmerman held the first ever lacrosse camp in Japan. And that partnership maintained for a long time, with teams training together and more camps being held. But it was actually Johns Hopkins University that was the initial trigger for Japanese lacrosse success and growth. Japan using its final timeout.
The ball resets for Japan, top right, relative to the goal. 1:22 remains in the second period. Japan leads over Wales.
You get 2 per half and none in a potential overtime. International rules. Through the stick of Kanaya. Right there for the ground ball, well done.
Less than 1 minute remains in the half.
Goto off to Tateshi. Tateshi is challenged, and he has it taken away. John Mills out of Swansea University, and originally from Bedford, England, with the cause turnover. Great job on the ride by Team Japan. 30 seconds to work with for Wales. Can they puncture the scoreboard? Timeout Wales, their final first half timeout with 25 seconds.
Of the first half.
Well, it took everything Wales had on Thursday, but they had Friday to recover. On Thursday, they took a 4-1 lead late in the second quarter over Denmark. The second half, a little bit odd in the sense that there were 2 ties, but no lead changes. So it was still, it felt like Wales had control, but Denmark tied the game with 4 minutes to go in the fourth. The stats were fairly even in terms of shot attempts, ground balls, face-offs. 2:47 left in overtime. Andrew Gresham off the assist from their face-off man, Thomas Rosser, to beat Denmark on Thursday.
You are watching the medicine game, the creators game, the spirit game in this Pool B matchup.
So far today,
The
Japan
2023 World
17-4
Lacrosse Men's
in
Championship
shot
in
attempts,
San
10-3
Diego,
shots on
Kumiai
goal,
territory.
5-2 in the face-off category. Japan 4 different goal scorers. 2 from Koki Goto. 3 assists from Tateshi to lead all point scorers.
5 seconds left in the second period.
Wales looking for something positive going into halftime.
15 seconds in the half. 10 seconds.
Gotta hurry up. Stringer. Hopkins with 3. Has to unload and does not in time. And some frustration on the Wales side.
Japan 5.
Heading to halftime. Japan stays dominant in 2023. They've been nearly perfect. 1 goal allowed so far in the first half during pool play.
The 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship is happening. 30 nations are playing right here in San Diego and Kumiai territory in pursuit of the gold medal in the final of the World Cup. Get your length of event pass and stay pictures to the 23rd of July date. We get ready to see the opening ceremony that happens with U.S. versus Canada, the semifinals upcoming match, as well as the championship and bronze medal games, and everything in between. Get all the details at the World Lacrosse booth in the concourse, or head over to worldlacrosse2023.com. That is worldlax2023.com. And attention all Lax fanatics. Adrenaline Lacrosse is the place to find men's and women's lacrosse uniforms, apparel, equipment, and tournaments. Coaches, make sure to head over to the Adrenaline Lacrosse booth in the vendor village to get a free gift pack, including an official head of the national champions Notre Dame Lacrosse, plus more to give away to your team. Download the official event app for daily schedules, scores, and stats, and more. Download the Superfan Loyalty app from the Android or Apple Store and search for 2023 World Lacrosse. Epic Lacrosse is proud to be the premier apparel sponsor of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship. Head to any of the Epic's World Lacrosse merch tents today to get your official championship gear. Find amazing designs, including shirts and hoodies available for all 30 competing nations. Profits are shared with each nation when you purchase their gear from Epic Lacrosse and take home a piece of history. You are watching the medicine game, the creators game, the spirit game here in San Diego, California on Kumiai territory. Make sure you have your World Lacrosse playoff tickets from June 27th to July 1st. You will not want to miss the semifinal games on June 29th, and of course, Finals Day on Saturday, July 1st at Snapdragon Stadium. Head to worldlax2023.com for single-day passes.
Kids grow up, and it goes by fast. At Rady Children's, we're growing up too, always looking for answers and new and better ways to care for your kids.
That's true.
Researching, innovating, breaking ground. As they soar to new heights,
Ignition.
we're ready for takeoff too.
Liftoff.
Kids grow up, and it goes by fast. At Rady Children's, we're growing up too. Always looking for answers and new and better ways to care for your kids.
That's true.
Researching, innovating, breaking ground. As they soar to new heights,
Ignition.
we're ready for takeoff too.
Liftoff.
After a strong first half from Japan, the teams regroup here at the break. It's 5-0 in this de facto Pool B championship game. Still within range for the Dragons. We'll see what Wales can do. Halftime right now, though, at SDSU Sports Deck.
Remain in the halftime. Chief Oren Lyons of the Haudenosaunee, when asked where is the medicine in the medicine game, he said the medicine is in the ball. It is medicine for those who are playing, and it is medicine for those who are watching. So we hope you enjoy some of the medicine game today here in San Diego on Kumeyaay territory. Great day for a great day, and it is a great day for the creators game, the medicine game, the spirit game. Diolch, thank you. Origato. Yawanko, thank you in Oneida, one of the Haudenosaunee languages.
Japan now in the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship, a combined 27-1 goal margin in the first half of their 3 games played. 5-0 lead over Wales. Start of the third quarter coming. Take a look at what happened in the first half. The dominance of Team Japan. Shinya Tateshi picking up where he left off. Setting up Kazuki Obana for the first goal of the game. Quickly after that, this was Tomoki Umehara. I got that wrong on the stat sheet. That was initially credited to Tateshi on the assist, but Kanaya scoring. Toru Morimatsu doing it himself, and then back-to-back goals from Koki Goto, showing his long-range shooting ability. And Japan by 5. Best 2 teams in Pool B doing battle but it's all relative, and Japan is the big favorite in this pool to leave undefeated. Your Wales, though, regardless of win or loss, I mean, the closer you can drive this result, better chance you have in tiebreakers and potential situations that come up, whether it be within the pool or cross-pool tiebreakers, as they would then gun for a second-place finish. Taking a while to decide the first face-off of the quarter. It's loose again, and at a certain point, you know, a whistle will come in eventually. And actually the same way the game started, a procedure call against Japan. It was actually shocking when the game started and Japan lost the opening face-off. It felt like the first time they lost an early face-off the entire tournament. Just holding the ball for the majority, the huge majority of the game against Uganda and France. Oh, good job sticking with it by Stringer. Ball got checked away. He grabbed it back off the ground. Keeps possession for Wales. Hopkins had a hat trick in the overtime win against Denmark. Robert Hopkins. Defended well by Sodayama. Now Braddock. Exchanging with Aaron Eastwood out of the University of Salford. Their captain, David Howie, four-time participant in the World Championship. Back to Ben Stringer, who had 10 goals in the Euro qualifiers. Eastwood will dodge. Japan just so fundamentally sound. Chambers filling in for Alex Williams, out with a broken hand, throws it away. This does not have enough steam on it to get to midfield. Again, there is no shot clock. If you've been watching the whole tournament, I know you're sick of hearing it, but it's worth restating because the game is so much different without the possession timer. Hopkins trying to muscle his way through, backs it out, and they reset. I mean, this is what you need to do if you're Wales. Wear down the Japan defense. Get your own defense some rest. Avoid unnecessary turnovers. Japan is so good at creating pressure and taking you out of any type of comfort zone and ability to execute.
Over and back,
Japan gets possession for the first time of the third quarter after a 3-minute Wales possession.
Shot goes wide and Japan maintains possession.
Immediate rip from Kiyoshi Sano. Now we've seen in those rare instances when Japan gets something unsettled going, their players are not shy, some of their defensive midfielders and poles. There were so few possession changes in the first couple of games, didn't really get a look at that, but today, seen a taste of it. Junichi Suzuki, switching hands, now it's Obana. Morimatsu. Umehara has got it.
A goal by number 7, Tomoki Umehara.
That is the first goal of the 2023 games for Umehara. Said that about Goto, who scored, Koki Goto, pardon me, who scored multiple times in the first half. Umehara did have 2 assists previously. This is his first goal of the 2023 World Championship. Out of Tokyo and Nippon Sports Science Academy. He was one of the team's leading scorers during the Sixes World Games in 2022 in Birmingham, Alabama. You can just see the influence, by the way. It's not just that they're using a lot of the players from the Sixes roster. They are adopting some of that style. The offensive creativity, the pace of it, and a lot of their top offensive producers from the Sixes have come over and continue to produce here in this full field format. Off the split dodge there by Harris. Now it's Jamie Chambers. Really being pursued heavily by Tsujino. Chambers faked the give, keeps it. Thought he might have had something there around the corner, but pulls it back. Eastwood had a go, and Japan backed it up. Aaron Eastwood played in the U21 World Championship in Limerick, Ireland. He had 24 goals during that tournament. Long pole goal.
A shot and a goal by Japan.
Tomoya Sodayama.
Number 33, Tomoya Sodayama, the defenseman.
Coaching staff has lauded his growth even since getting here a week ago to San Diego, talking about one of the youngest players on the roster, Tomoya Sodayama. His growth, even in the last week, has been exponential. He talked about the willingness of the Poles to produce offensively, and Sodayama gives Japan a long pole goal. He played in the U21s in Ireland. Out of Tokyo Gakuke University.
Japan wins the faceoff.
Clean win for Ishii. And that's in for Tateshi.
Number 3, assisted by number 77. The goal
Japan in transition as this game has gone along has become notable. It's a timeout on the field. Japan said their goal is 12-0 or better.
Wales 0.
And against the second best team in Pool B, that is still in play mid-third quarter.
For more than 135 years, public transit has been serving the San Diego community on Kootenai territory, helping it thrive. Metropolitan Transit System will dedicate their wrap trolleys to service on Green Line between venues during the opening ceremony, opening match, medal rounds, and closing ceremony. With all 3 venues right off the San Diego MTS Green Line trolley, fans can easily ride MTS to all 3 venues to catch all the action of the Medicine Game, the Creators Game, the Spirit Game. Rady's Children's Hospital San Diego on Kootenai territory is the largest children's hospital on the West Coast and consistently ranked among the very best pediatric healthcare systems in the United States. Rady's Children is proud to be the presenting partner for this year's men's championship of the Medicine Game, the Spirit Game, the Creators Game. Make sure you have your World Lacrosse playoff tickets from June 27th to July 1st. You will not want to miss the semifinal games on June 29th. And of course, finals day on Saturday, July 1st at Snapdragon Stadium. Head to worldlax2023.com for single day passes. Continue to support the lacrosse community of San Diego on Kootenai territory with the San Diego Seals. Cheer on your local professional lacrosse team at Pechanga Arena, San Diego for the 2023-24 season, beginning in December. Visit the information booth on the concourse or head to sealslax.com for season tickets. And follow on social media at SealsLax. Now, people, let us continue this matchup here. Wales and Japan in this Pool B 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship game.
Japan already has 3 goals in that first stretch of play in the third quarter. And coming off the most recent one, which was the first goal of the game for Shinya Tateshi. Japan's leading scorer in the tournament coming in. It's 8-0. Short-handed Wales down two of its top scorers against the best non-Pool A team in this entire field, which has not disappointed so far in its first three pool play games.
Face-off won by Wales.
Wales has been able to do better in the face-off category than either of the first couple of Japan opponents. Ben Stringer wound up collecting that off the ground. And the possession has not been as hard to come by for Wales. It's not been sheer dominance like it was the first two games. Wales has had its opportunities with the ball, but the defense, the half-field defense for Japan has been incredible. Talking a lot about Japanese goal scoring through the first few games, but the defense on display today. Eastwood. Couldn't get collected cleanly by Harris. Still a fight for it involving Hopkins, but racing ahead is Sodayama, who scored that most recent goal before Tateshi's. And now a flag flies with just over 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Tateshi says, "Who, me?" And the answer is yes, you.
Penalty is on Japan, a push in the back. Wales will then go man up. We have roughly 6 minutes remaining in the third period. 6-on-5 opportunity.
30-second push in the back, which you see right there. Wales on the man up is 0 of 3. Second penalties go quick. Harris to Stringer to Hopkins. Now Chambers had the look there for Stringer, but Stringer couldn't pull it in. Would have had a chance to score. Instead, the penalty is done, and the ball goes back to Japan. Just a wash, rinse, repeat. Another beautiful day in San Diego. AJ Cannell, glad to have you with us here at SDSU Sports Deck for Japan and Wales. Japan closing in on a Pool B title. It won't be official until I think they have to play their next game against Denmark on Sunday. As far as actually mathematically clinching it, we'll have to see on that, but these are the two best teams in the pool. And Japan all over Wales thus far. Japan will move to 3-0 if they can close this out. Off the pipe by Obana.
Ground ball by Wales.
And Wales gets the ground ball. Right now, Uganda against France. Uganda tied the game at 4. Early third quarter. Since then, all within the third quarter, a 7-0 France run. So 11-4 France at the moment.
Ground ball Japan.
In that other Pool B game today. Yeah, thinking about it, I mean, well, you know, don't necessarily have all the contingencies and things of that nature, but I'm looking at it, and Denmark, which is Japan's final opponent in Pool B, already has 2 losses. So just a potential bizarro world Japan loss against Denmark. Japan still wouldn't finish in a tie with Denmark. They would be ahead of them. And so this obviously will hand Wales a loss. And even if Japan loses, they'll have the head-to-head over Wales. They already have the head-to-head over Uganda and France. So unless I'm missing something, Japan basically clinches Pool B with a win here, because even with a loss against Denmark, it should not affect their standing as the first place team. Tateshi adds another one.
Goal by Japan, scored by number 3, Shinya Tateshi, representing his hometown of Tokyo and Keio University. Assist of the last goal was by
Tateshi has been their best offensive player so far in the tournament.
Hometown of Tokyo and Chiba University.
Kanaya with the assist. He's been the big goal scorer through the first couple of games. Once again, Tateshi leads the team today with 5 points, 2 goals, 3 assists.
Face off won by Japan.
Only Goto is the other multi-goal scorer for Japan. With a transition opportunity, you could see Tsujino is thinking about it. He still is, and Tsujino with another pole goal.
Number 18, Katsumi Tsujino.
Katsumi Tsujino joins Tomoya Sorayama.
And Tokyo University.
Defensive goals scored by Japan. So the first time around, Tsujino thought about it. Wait a second, do I have it? Yes, I do, and I have a goal. Tsujino's second point of the tournament. He had an assist against Uganda. Again, one of the younger players on the team, full of youthful exuberance, but Tsujino, one of their youngest players, and something that Japan evaluated coming in to 2023 and off the heels of their recent World Championship performances, which were respectable, was that in order to compete with teams like the US and Canada, they wanted more size, speed, and power, just athletically. Can they physically match what those best teams in the world are doing? And a player like Tsujino represents that in their development and recruiting
Japan
efforts.
Maintains possession on the chase with 30 seconds left in the third period.
Japan had a 5-0 halftime lead. They've doubled that goal output in the third quarter alone.
20 seconds remain in the third period. Ground ball, Wales.
Ground ball, Danny Chambers.
10 seconds in the period.
But Japan has it back. 5 seconds. One more opportunity. And a nice save at the end by Casey Hughes against Tateshi, depriving him of the hat trick at the end of the third quarter. Japan has reached double figures, and they'll aim for 12 or more in terms of goal differential to try and hold the shutout heading into the fourth. Yeah, I'd say it's worth a thumbs up and a bow. Japan's performance so far has been spotless.
Want to turn your vision into reality? Impact Canopy, proud sponsor of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship in San Diego on Supremacy territory, has got you covered. With a complete line of high-quality custom branding options and a wide variety of dependable after-sales solutions. From teams to tournaments, let the number one field and event branding specialist help you make an impact on and off the field. Check out ImpactCanopy.com today and call them for a free mock-up. Impact Canopy. More than just canopies. Did you know lacrosse is being considered for inclusion in the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles on Gabrielino Tongva and Chumash territory? If successful, lacrosse, the creator's game, the medicine game, the spirit game, would return to the Olympic stage for the first time since 1948, showcasing the thrilling sixes discipline. Join our 5-ring journey at worldlacrosse.sport and show your support using hashtag LAX28. In 2024, World Lacrosse will host the Women's U20 Championship in Hong Kong, China, and the Men's and Women's Box Championship in Utica, New York. Mark your calendars now and join us for these major events, August 15th through the 25th in Hong Kong, China, and September 13th through the 22nd in Utica, New York. More information can be found at worldlacrosse.sport. At SeaWorld San Diego on Kumeyaay territory, experience real in a whole new way. From the all-new Rescue Junior, where learning about saving animals is fun, to the icy mission of the all-new Arctic Rescue, the longest and fastest straddle coaster on the West Coast, and a spectacular new pirate stunt show with water acrobats, along with summer concerts, parades, and fireworks, all in a world you need to rediscover. San Diego SeaWorld, real amazing. Now back to our fourth period here of Wales and Japan for this Pool B matchup playing the Creators Game, the medicine game.
Rady Children's Hospital, presenting sponsor of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship, is the largest children's hospital on the West Coast and ranks among the 10 best children's hospitals in the nation. It's been smooth sailing today for Japan, and it has been from the start. Wins against France and Uganda over the first 2 days.
With holding on Japan, it is going to be Wales ball to face off X.
43-2 so far on goal margin in the tournament for Japan. Relative to the first place teams in the other pools, Japan wants to get as favorable seeding as possible, and so goal differential could factor into that. And the next tiebreaker after goal differential is goals allowed. So Japan's goal in every single game is to win by 12-0 or better, and that 0 part matters. Right now, Japan is on pace. They succeeded in going over 12-0 against Uganda. They won 15-2, so maxed out on goal differential, not quite on goals against France, but it's been darn near perfect so far for Japan. And a great save by Shogo Oshima, who's coming to the game in net. They've been starting Toku Masu, and he has played the majority of the minutes, but we've seen Oshima in a couple of straight games for Japan. Daisato gets it free to Kanaya. Now, Kanaya has not been as big a scorer today, but he's done the little things well. Some key ground balls. Love to see a player contribute and be selfless even when they're not the lead scorer. Kanaya, the top goal scorer coming into the day today for Japan. Does have one goal today. That ball movement continues and culminates in a goal
number 28, unassisted,
by Ukumura.
Akamura, the attackman representing the hometown of Gifu in Nanzan University.
Yuya Ukumura along with Toru Morimatsu both spent time in Coquitlam, British Columbia playing box lacrosse to hone their skills. Catching in traffic, knowing what to do, and finishing. That's a box lacrosse skill. And Ukumura also, we talked about how members of this team were actually coaches of their current teammates at the U21 tournament, which took place last year, and Ukumura was one of those coaches along with Sano and Tokumasu. The head coach of that team was the head coach of the senior team, Coach Udo. And many of the players from that team have been called up to the seniors. There's one more, and again, Ukumura.
28 for Japan, Yuya Akamura.
Coach Udo calls number 28 the toughest on the team. Native of Gifu and out of Nanzan University. And now Japan has reached 12. Means the goal the rest of the way is to limit the opponent. They've maxed out on goal differential, and they continue to have that perfect goals against mark. Looking for their second straight shutout, and this one has been more impressive than yesterday. You know, outmanned Uganda, understood coming in that it wasn't going to be close against Japan, but 12-0 against Wales has been impressive. It's 12-1. Wales on the board. Jamie Chambers.
The score is now Wales 1, Japan 12.
Fitting to have Chambers put one home. Delayed penalty there as well, but Alex Williams out with a broken hand. Chambers is the left-hander on the roster that becomes more important with the absence of the lefty Williams for the balance of the tournament. Great face-off win by Thomas Rosser, and a beautiful pass by Rosser. The face-off man Rosser told a Lacrosse blog that he grew up playing squash, wound up getting hurt, and gave squash up at age 18. He also played rugby, but when he got to university, Loughborough University, he realized that he was a little smaller than most of the other guys and kind of thought that rugby might not be his sport either. He was looking for a sport where he could take advantage of his body and his skill set. He found that in lacrosse, and in particular in the face-off circle. You could say the low man wins there. Thomas Rosser for Wales as the lone assist of the day for Wales on the team's lone goal. See if Wales gets some confidence now. Braddock trying to unload one. Pass gets raked away and taken in by Japan. Toku Masu wound up with the loose ball there. Flag flies, something happening on the near sideline. Looked like a violation on Chambers, which will be his second penalty. Delayed situation now as Japan controls until the whistle. Dai Sato attempting to create as a defensive midfielder, but instead
Japan is man up.
Wales will now serve the penalty. It's on Chambers again.
Timeout, Japan, with 8:26 remaining in the fourth period.
Well, Japan has called timeout here, middle of the fourth quarter. Take a look at the scoreboard across day 3 of pool play on this Saturday in San Diego. Earlier today, close, low-scoring game at Wolf Epic. Jamaica topping Poland 6-4. A double overtime thrill ride in which Ireland, the favorite in their pool, holding on against Latvia and winning 8-7. And so with that victory, Ireland dominating Pool F now. Could have gone down to an interesting tiebreaker situation if not for that result, but Ireland, which is a clear favorite in Pool F, getting that win in double overtime over Latvia. Germany beat New Zealand 9-6. And going on right now, actually going to have to update these scores. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right score. Okay, now I got it updated. France over Uganda 12-4. Again, that was 4-4 early in the third quarter, 8th straight for France now in the fourth. And then with 5:37 to go, Hong Kong, China has taken a lead 9-7 over Scotland down at Rady below us. Japan all over Wales here.
Backed up here by Japan as they maintain possession on the chase.
Wales has put in a substitute goaltender, James Richardson, who alertly went and came closest to that shot following the miss. Richardson, who is from Penarth, Wales, is in his 5th World Championship.
We have a media timeout.
And now a media timeout. Richardson helped Wales qualify as part of a goalie timeshare in the European qualifiers in 2022.
At Rady's Children's Hospital San Diego on
7:53 to go in the game. Japan leads Wales 12-1.
Them from illness and injury. In athletics, specifically the medicine game.
At Morgan Stanley, old school hard work meets bold new thinking. At 87 years old, we still see the world with the wonder of new eyes, helping you discover untapped possibilities and relentlessly working with you to make them real. Old school grit, new world ideas. Morgan Stanley.
Kids grow up, and it goes by fast. At Rady Children's, we're growing up too. Always looking for answers and new and better ways to care for your kids.
That's true.
Researching, innovating, breaking ground. As they soar to new heights,
Ignition.
we're ready for takeoff too.
Liftoff.
Max power, I'm about to go bigger and better. If I ever lose, set it on faster than ever. If I ever lose, set it on bigger and better. Hitting roller coaster can bigger, bolder, faster. I'm going to the maximum. I'm going to the maximum. I'm going to the maximum. I'm bigger, bolder, faster. I'm going to the maximum. I'm going to the maximum. I'm going to the maximum. I'm bigger, bolder, faster.
The 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship is sponsored by Rady Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the 10 best children's hospitals in the nation. Shinya Tateshi keying the efforts again for Team Japan. He has 2 goals and 3 dimes. And Japan leads 12-1. Individual display from Junichi Suzuki, leaving defenders in his wake. Kanaya had been holding for Japan. Now it's Umehara. Patient. Something different here from Japan. Some action out beyond the goal, and Umehara directing traffic from X. He sets up Tateshi. Richardson got a piece of it. Richardson made his debut at the U19 World Championship in Baltimore in 2003. He's been at this for a long time, the backup goalie for Wales, stepping in this final stretch of play for Casey Hughes. Suzuki dashing in, great setup, and it was saved. Second opportunity, Japan scores, Morimatsu.
By Japan, number 13, Toru Morimatsu.
So back up to the maximum goal differential
Japan now leads
of 12.
6 remaining in the 4th period.
Creativity from Suzuki. And after Obana couldn't finish, Morimatsu could. Shimada on that draw for Japan. They usually use KZ Victor Ishii, but Shimada also capable.
Pushing the back on Japan.
Pushing the back though, and Wales takes it. And Wales will try and set something up here. Use timeout with 5:24 left to go. Take a look at the upcoming schedule each of these teams. Japan, I love their schedule for them. They're in a very winnable pool in which they have certainly taken advantage of and more. They have Denmark tomorrow at 4. Again, Wales defeating Denmark in overtime. So we'll see if Denmark can challenge Japan any more than any of these other teams in the pool have done. But the reason I say I like their schedule, not only is it a winnable pool for Japan, they play Denmark and they get that off day, that pool play off day. There are 5 pool play days, you get 1 off day, and Japan gets theirs at the end of pool play. Extra rest going in to the elimination stage. Meanwhile, for Wales, their off day was yesterday. They play Uganda tomorrow at 10 a.m. and then France on Monday at 10 a.m. And because they snuck past Denmark on Thursday, they're the big favorite to finish in second place in the pool. They can avoid a massive upset against either Uganda or France. So all this stuff really matters for Wales, because even without a first place finish, a second place team could potentially reach the winner's bracket. And so you think about, again, goal differential, goals against, all the tiebreakers that could come into play. Wales, that's what's on their minds right now, despite the lopsided score. The way this tournament is formatted, teams are compelled to care about the final score and play to the very finish regardless of the score. Ben Stringer carrying at X, guarded by Sodayama. Tom Pereira gets a look. Haven't seen that much of him so far. Chambers has the lone goal for Wales. Try and get themselves reorganized. Howie moves it along to Pereira. And now David Howie loses it to Teishi nearby, but Howie still has the inside track.
4 minutes remaining in the fourth period.
Gresham goes back to Howie. High pass handled by Robert Hopkins. Had the hat trick a couple of days ago against Denmark. Extended Wales possession.
3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the fourth.
Stringer and Chambers. Chambers falls, still gets kind of a shot off, but Japan has possession. Now lots of incentive for Japan with this maxed out 12-goal margin to try and hold things and kill some clock. Going for a leisurely clear if possible, and then try and avoid a stall warning for a while if they can, but I'm sure the officials are aware at this stage. Kota Yanai took it across, number 8. One of the best defensive midfielders on the team.
2 minutes and 30 seconds
Now it's to
remaining in the fourth
Teishi,
period.
just hanging out. And Kanaya. Omehara. Gato, number 21, playing catch with Ukumura along the far side. Yuya Ukumura. Thinking about it. Approaching 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of this Pool B game. It's de facto Pool B title game, which will go to Japan. All that's uncertain is the final score. Hakozaki adds one.
A shot and a goal by Japan.
Had a hat trick in a play-in win against Jamaica
The goal is scored
in the
by
U21s
Soko
last
Hakozaki.
summer. gets his second
Previous
goal
world
of the
champions
tournament.
of the U20 team in 2022, representing the hometown of Kanagawa and Kanagawa University.
Straddling,
The goal is,
or at least coming very close to the crease, I should say.
Less than 2 minutes of play.
Negotiating that line and tiptoeing around and scoring. Out of Kanagawa and Kanagawa University, Sota Hakozaki.
Face-off won by Japan.
Dominant possession game, dominant defensive game.
Japan uses their second and final timeout.
And the diversity on offense for Japan on display in all 3 of its Pool B matchups so far. Timeout called for with a $1:44 left to go in the 4th. Think about the heights that this Japan program has risen to. Great article that you can go find on World Lacrosse's website. The Japan Lacrosse Association officially founded in 1987. That occurred when there were some students from Keio University, which still has a prominent presence on the team. Some Keio University students in Tokyo approached United States and Canadian embassies to express interest in lacrosse. They connected with Norio Endo, a Japanese-American businessman and a graduate of Johns Hopkins University, which became connected to Team Japan. Endo was a retired U.S. naval captain who passed away at the age of 78 in 2013. At one point, after encouraging the students to go recruit from other universities and preach self-sustainability in the program with the students, Endo at one point got offered a $1 million donation from the co-founder of the Sony Corporation to help get Japan Lacrosse off the ground further. He turned down the offer because he said he didn't want Japanese lacrosse to be dependent upon wealthy donors or other countries. So they have preached self-sustainability from the start, and look at what Japan has grown into. There were just 21 players in all of Japan in 1986. In 2017, the most recent count, there were 18,000. Currently, 300 college teams, 100 club teams in Japan. Our first stall warning in effect. Really seems that the officials only think to implement the stall warning in the game's closing moments. We've seen some long possessions at other times when there was no warning.
30 seconds remaining in the fourth
But
period.
there's no doubt Japan playing keep away here late in the 4th. They've maxed out on tiebreaker goal differential. Goals allowed, only 1, and they like to keep it that way, and they will. In their toughest challenge yet, Japan proved up to the task and more yet again.
That's going to be the final score here today from San Diego State
Japan's
University
reign
Sports Deck.
over
Japan,
Pool B
14,
continues.
Wales 1.
And Japan effectively clinches first place in Pool B with a victory over Wales, 14-1. We'll take one more break, come back, and summarize from SDSU Sports Deck. Welcome back to SDSU Sports Tech here. Final score, Japan 14, Wales 1. And due to tiebreakers, Japan, which does have one matchup against Denmark later on, which will take place tomorrow. Japan has clinched Pool B and will move on later in the tournament to the elimination stage. Japan in this one, dominant again. They get 5 points to lead the way from Shinya Tateshi, 2 goals and 3 assists for our entire crew. H.A. Cannell saying so long from SDSU Sports Deck. Japan today dominant over Wales.